Hello, students. Today I am going to start with colors of metals. Colors of metals. Okay, colors of metals. Okay. So the topic is colors of metals. We see that most of the metals will appear as silver gray, like silver. But some metals will appear as gold and other colors. Like say, if you say gold is a metal. Gold will appear will appear in yellow color. But very few metals will appear in different colors. But most of the metals will appear in silver gray color. Silver gray color. Let us understand this. First, how light is produced. How light is produced? Light is produced due to electrons. The first statement is light is produced due to electrons. Where electrons are present? Electrons are present in atoms. Electrons are present in atoms. The atom structure is as shown below. You can assume atom in a simplest way as a consisting of center. The center is called nucleus. The nucleus has positive charge. Just think about our atom is consisting of nucleus. The nucleus is having positive charge. Okay, this atom structure can be compared with our solar system. At the center of the solar system you will find sun. Around the sun you will find revolving planets. Just like here also electrons are revolving around the nucleus. Here I have shown 3 electrons in one single orbit. The electrons are moving around the nucleus, and also I have shown another outer orbit called second orbit. Okay, for simplification only I have simplified atomic model very much. This simplified model is sufficient at this level of study. But in higher classes you are going to study more complicated models of atom. But this simple study of atomic structure is sufficient to understand how light is produced. How light is produced in this universe. In this universe means in our earth, in our stars, and other planets also. Other planets, other stars, other galaxies also. See, anyway, I have shown simplest model. An atom center is a nucleus which is having positive charge. One orbit called first orbit and second orbit. In the first orbit only I have shown electrons. Okay, these electrons can move from lower orbit to higher orbit, and move from higher orbit to lower orbit. That we see in the next slide. Okay, I have told you that the electrons can move from lower orbit to higher orbit. Why they move? Because of heat energy. Heat energy means we see at room temperature. Now if you see, room temperature is around 25 centigrade to 30 centigrade. At the room temperature sufficient heat energy is available. Because of that heat energy, the electrons usually move from lower orbit to higher orbit, like this. Okay, they are moving. See that the arrow marks are shown. The electrons are moving from lower orbit to higher orbit because of heat energy. By absorbing heat energy, the electrons move from lower orbit to higher orbit. Once they move to higher orbit, they will not stay there. Within a fraction of second, within a very little time, they will come back to lower orbit. When they are coming from higher orbit to lower orbit, they release energy. In the form of light. See that. First they move from lower orbit to higher orbit. How they move? Because of heat energy available at room temperature. Why heat energy is available at room temperature? Because of sun. Sun is producing heat on the earth, and that heat energy in the room results in room temperature of 30 centigrade or 25 centigrade, and that heat energy is responsible for the electrons to move from lower orbit to higher orbit, and again they move from higher orbit to lower orbit. In the process they emit energy in the form of light. Whenever any object is moving from higher orbit to lower orbit, it will release energy. Suppose if you drop a ball from height of the building, when the ball is dropped with zero velocity, once it is coming down, its velocity increases. Means its kinetic energy is going to increase. Kinetic energy of mv square, it is going to increase. Like that, whenever ball is falling from a higher level to lower level, the energy increases. Similarly, the electrons, when moving from higher orbit to lower orbit, they release energy. In the form of light. Like that, light is produced. So, how light is produced? Light is produced because electrons are moving when electrons move from higher orbit to lower orbit, they emit light in the form of, they emit energy in the form of light. Okay, that is what you have to see. Actually, they emit energy in the form of electromagnetic wave. In the electromagnetic wave is very broad spectrum. In the broad spectrum, very little part belongs to light. Okay, that we can see later. It will become too much. So what I say that how light is produced is when electrons are moving from higher orbit to lower orbit, when are higher energy level to lower energy level, they release the energy in the form of light. That is the point you have to note. Now we come to next. What are the metals that appear as silver gray? Okay, there are more than 50 metals that appear as silver gray. For example, iron, silver, iron, aluminum, nickel, pure metals. Okay, when they are not combined with oxygen, remember that when they are not combined with oxygen and when they are in pure form, they appear as silver gray. Iron, aluminum, silver, nickel, chromium, platinum, tin, lead, zinc, lithium, sodium, potassium. Okay, like that there are many metals like magnesium, calcium, barium, strontium, palladium, rhodium, ruthenium, titanium, vanadium, manganese, tungsten, molybdenum, rhenium. Okay, like that there are many metals, more than 50 metals that appear in silver gray color. But there are metals that appear in different colors. For example, copper will appear as reddish orange. Gold metal appear in yellow color. Cesium will appear in pale yellow, golden yellow. Osmium, bluish gray. Iridium, yellowish white. Mercury, silver white. See that out of more than 50 elements appear as silver gray. Even silver, mercury is also appearing as silver white, and gold is appearing as yellow. Copper is appearing as reddish orange. Okay, these are the two metals that we see in our daily life: copper and gold. Copper will appear as reddish orange, gold appears as yellow, and silver also we see. Silver appears as silver gray. And mercury also, you can see mercury whenever you visit doctor, and doctor uses thermometer. In the thermometer you will see mercury, that mercury appear as silver white. Okay, these are the other metals you may not have seen: cesium, osmium, iridium. Okay, cesium appears also in yellow, golden yellow. Osmium appears as blue gray. Iridium appears yellowish white. Okay, like that there are few exceptions, but most of the metals appear in more than 50 metals appear in silver gray, but there are 5 metals appear in different colors: copper which is reddish orange, gold yellow, cesium pale yellow, golden yellow, osmium blue color, iridium yellowish color. Okay, osmium, iridium. Okay, see, among the 5 metals, gold is appear as yellow, cesium appears as yellow, iridium also appears as yellow. See, gold, cesium, yellow, iridium. All 3 metals, 1, 2, 3 appears as yellow, and copper is appearing as reddish orange, osmium is blue. Okay, only these two are exceptions. CO, copper and O are exceptions, and the remaining gold, iridium and osmium are also gold, iridium and cesium are also appearing as yellow color. Remember that. Okay, only the two metals, copper is appearing as reddish orange and osmium is appearing as bluish gray. Okay, mercury is also silver gray, like that. Okay, silver white or silver gray color. Next, you see that why most metals appear in silver gray color. That is the reason. The reason is in most metals we find free electrons. What are the free electrons? Free electrons do not belong to any single atom or they do not stay at one atom, but move from one atom to another. All these are free electrons. All these free electrons appear as sea of electrons. See that, sea of electrons. Okay, let us go to I am going to next slide to explain what is the meaning of free electrons. Okay, again I want to say that the reason for the most metals to appear in gray color, silver gray color, is due to free electrons. So in the next slide I am going to explain about free electrons. See, for this I have considered Ag means silver metal I have considered. In the silver metal you will find many silver atoms, Ag. These are all silver atoms, And the silver atom has one single orbit also is shown for our convenience. And in the single orbit there are 3 electrons. Okay, for convenience only. Actually, actual picture I am not taking. Just for idea purpose, I have taken simple picture. For each silver atom is containing 3 electrons. Why silver is denoted Ag? Because in the Latin silver is called argentinum. That is why its symbol is Ag. Each atom has 3 electrons, 3 electrons, 3 electrons. These three electrons are called bound electrons. These 3 electrons are called bound electrons, and these stay at their parent atom and do not move to other Ag atoms. Okay, these 3 atoms only remain at this parent, at their parent atom. This is parent atom of these 3 electrons. These 3 electrons do not move to other silver atoms, this silver atom or other silver atom, but only stay at their parent atom. Similarly, these 3 electrons also remain to their parent atom, at their parent atom. These electrons or these electrons or these 3 electrons or these 3 electrons. All these electrons are called bound electrons. But there are free electrons. See that the arrow, the free electrons are shown with arrow direction arrows. Direction. A free electron shown here that is moving in this direction. A free electron is shown here that is moving in this direction. That is here that is moving in this direction. That is moving in this direction. So they can move. The free electrons will not stay at one single atom. They will move from one silver atom to other atom. They move throughout the metal. But bound electrons will stay at their parent atom. Okay. That is, these free electrons are moving freely. Okay, these free electrons appear as sea of electrons. Okay, I have given idea about free electrons. Okay, in the metals we will find so many free electrons. That is why they appear as sea of electrons. Okay, what happens is when light falls, see that when the incident sunlight, the sunlight appears as white. The white light is containing so many colors, 7 colors. VIBGR, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. Okay, these 7 colors are appearing in white light. These 7 colors combined together will appear as white. Actually, sunlight, even though appears as white, it is containing 7 colors. What are they? VIBGR, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. Okay, that when white light falls on the metal, most of the light will be reflected by the free electrons of the metal. The free electrons of the metal will reflect all the light back. Only with very few colors are going to be observed. Most of the lights will be reflected. So, incident light is white, reflected light is also white. So that reflected light appears as silver gray color. That is white color. Therefore, most of the metals appears as white because when the white sunlight means it is containing most of the 7 colors. When the white light falls on the metal, the free electrons of the metal will reflect all the incident light. With all the incident light, very few light colors are absorbed to little extent, and so most of the light will be reflected back, and so the reflected light appears as white or silver gray color. Therefore, metals appears in silver gray color because of the free electrons, because free electrons are reflecting most of the incident white sunlight. Therefore, the reflected light is silver gray color, and so metals also appear in silver gray color. Let us see why gold is appearing as yellow. That is important. Not only gold, I told you iridium and cesium also appears as yellow. Let us see why gold appears as yellow. Okay, to understand that, first you have to understand what is the logic behind the appearance of silver gray color of silver. Okay, silver. See here again, silver is taken. Silver is represented by Ag because silver is called argentinum in Latin. Therefore, it is represented by Ag. And I have shown 3 bound electrons. And here also 3 bound electrons. Here also 3 bound electrons. Here also 3 bound electrons. 1 free electron is shown. A direction arrow is also shown. It indicates direction of movement. Here electron is moving from point 1 to point 2. Electron is moving from point 1 to point 2 very freely. There is no any barrier. And so no energy is required for the electron to move from 1 to 2. So when light falls, when light falls on the silver, this free electron will not absorb any energy of the incident light, and so all the incident light will be reflected back, because the free electron doesn't require any energy to move from 1 to 2, because so these free electrons will reflect all the incident light back towards us. That is why all the metals appears as silver gray color. Now coming to gold. Okay, gold is now coming to gold. Gold is represented by letter AU. Gold is represented by letter AU. Here also for gold I have shown 3 bound electrons, 3 bound electrons, 3 bound electrons for 3 bound electrons, and I have shown one free electron also, and that free electron has to move from position 1 to position 2. But to move from position 1 to position 2, the electron is finding a barrier. So for free electron to move from 1 to 2, it has to overcome this barrier. Okay, it has to jump over the barrier. For this it requires energy. This is the gold metal. In the gold metal there is a free electron. The free electron to move from 1 to 2, it requires energy. So when white light falls on the free electron, it absorbs blue and violet of incident light. It absorbs the energy of the incident light. Using that energy, the electron here at position 1 will move to position 2, and remaining light will be reflected. See, in the incident light, once the blue and violet are absorbed, remaining colors are red, orange, yellow, and green will be reflected back. So that is what, once the red, orange, yellow, green will be reflected back, they reach our eyes, and our brain will mix all these colors, and the mixed colors will be sensed as yellow color. Okay, yellow color. That is why gold is appearing as yellow color. Okay, I stop the video. I continue in the next video. Thank you.